Bracy Skills Clinic's back with another video, man. We hitting y'all with a double back-to-back, man. I touched upon it in my last video talking about the three players specifically of Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Tre Jones, and why I think they're starting to implement somewhat of a foundation. And I'm going to go in deeper detail, okay? I'm going to start off the video by saying this. You know, we know the Spurs have dropped 4 straight, okay? No surprise there. Now, if that's going to continue to happen and we continue to lose and we end up one of the worst teams in the West, hey, so be it. I don't think that's a loss, 100%. If the Spurs find a way to win games and get back on the streak and win 3-4 in a row and hover around 500, I know Spurs fans are going to disagree, but if we end up like as a play-in team, I don't think that's a bad thing either. And the reason why I don't think that's a bad thing for either or is because if you're not a play-in, of course you get the opportunity of getting not only Victor Wembanyama, but also Scoot. Scoot is a phenomenal talent that I think has a franchise player type of material. So if you end up getting that type of player, of course, that's a win. But if you do end up as a play-in team, let's say the Spurs continue the trend that they're on. They're 5-6 through the first 11 games. Let's say they hover around 500 and they make it as a 9th, 10th seed, right? It's going to be because of Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Tre Jones. No knock towards Jakob. Jakob's been phenomenal. Jeremy Sohan has had his ups and downs, but for the most part, I'm going to say that I'm impressed with Jeremy Sohan as far as a basketball player, right? So it's going to be because of the development of those 3 guys, Keldon, Devin, and Tre. They've made the biggest jumps from year to year. And not only that, when I watch those 3 play, especially when they're all on the court at the same time, when I watch those 3 play, I see a lot of characteristics that Tim Tony Manu had. Of course, now I'm not saying any one of those 3 are as good as those 3 Hall of Famers. Not saying that. But I see, when I look at the characteristics, I'm talking about not getting rattled, the unselfishness, the leadership, the willingness to make winning plays. I just see a lot of intangibles in those 3 being major building blocks for us to reach back to where we once was. And once again, although I know a lot of Spurs fans would love to have Victor Wembanyama, so with the rest of the NBA, right? But I think we got to start paying a little bit more attention to what's on this roster currently, because I really think Devin, Keldon, and Tre are starting to form a big 3. I'm starting to see it. We saw it a little bit last night. We had a lot of turnovers. The turnovers has definitely been our biggest problem, but I think the Spurs will get better with that. They're a young team. Young teams turn the ball over. That's just young teams turn the ball over. Inexperienced teams turn the ball over. I wouldn't cause that as a red flag. I think Tre will get better at that. Players will get better at that. Also, guys has been in and out the lineup. You know, you have certain guys that barely played at all in preseason. So I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just stating facts. Okay, that department will get better. But I do see somewhat, I'm going to say somewhat right now, somewhat of a big 3 forming between Tre Jones, Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson. Okay? If the Spurs were to make a play-in game and end up with a similar draft pick that they've had in the past 2 to 3 years where they're like 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember, you got all those picks coming from Atlanta and you got Charlotte's pick next year. If the Spurs use that pick to go get, more depth in the front court or maybe another 2 or 3 man off the bench or somebody that they're looking for in the future to build, great. But I really think the better that Tre, Devin, and Keldon gets, if they continue to show the growth that they've been showing, I personally think that the Spurs have the players, as far as the core at least, already there to jumpstart this rebuild. It may not take a Victor Wembanyama or Scoot to rebuild this franchise. It may not. Now, if we get him, like I said, I'm not going to be one that say, oh, I hate that we got Victor Wembanyama. I know the talent when I see it. I'm just saying that the Spurs can do it without Victor Wembanyama. I feel like a lot of Spurs fans feel like the only way we can rebuild this thing is by getting Victor Wembanyama, and I don't think that's true. I don't think Victor Wembanyama is the only way we can get back to the promised land. I know he's a talent, but we can get back there by these 3 developing still on the rate that they're developing, because they're going to continue to get better. We could get there by the rookies developing. I know Blake Wesley, I hate that he had a setback, but we can get there by these guys just simply getting better and Devin Vassell and Keldon taking that next step. It can happen. Or if not, you got a lot of tradable assets. So at the end of the day, you know, let's just let this season play out and see what's going to happen. I mean, we have a lot of draft picks for the future, and Keldon, Devin Vassell, and Tre Jones have shown tremendous upside in their development. Already this season is a win, because those three have shown, they've shown what I want to see in their development, and we got a lot of draft picks, and the rookies have showed some promise. So Spurs fans, once again, be patient. I think it's going to happen eventually. All right? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We out.